Hey everybody, I just want to come do a little bit of an astro update, energy update for you. Feel really called to put more of these out there. And honestly, if I'm speaking honestly, they're not easy for me to do, to put myself out there. And it's something that I'm leaning into, that I'm gently asking my shadow to show up for. So I hope that they help. Let me know if they help. Let me know if there's anything you want me to talk about astrologically or explain or focus on. I am here completely from my heart center to serve and help people understand where we're at on the planet, in the solar system that we're in the universe that we're in. And I'm on a quest to understand the big picture, and I hope that you can take what resonates with you, and anything else, let go. Okay, so first of all, Mercury at 6 p.m. this evening is moving into Virgo. It's been in Leo, where we express ourselves, where we're creative, where the lion is roaring, right? And when it moves into Virgo, it goes into a sign that Mercury loves. It's Mercury's home in Virgo. Virgo Mercury people, if you have that in your natal chart, you see all the details. It's a Mercury, so let me just go back really quick. Mercury is how we communicate, how we think, how we are curious, how we talk, how we learn. It's our mind, right? So Mercury moving into Virgo from Leo, we're going to feel this collectively, like with the way that we think about things, how we communicate with each other. So now we have Venus, Mars, and for the last couple of days we had the moon. And tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern, we'll have Mercury, all in Virgo. So that means that our actions, our thoughts, our desires, all are in line with being productive, getting things done, being organized. So if you're feeling like purging your closets feels really good lately, or organizing your pantry, I'm just saying that because that's what I've been doing. Or, you know, there's been some things that have been hanging out on your to-do list for a long period of time that you're just like wanting to cross off. It's a very earthy, productive kind of energy. Virgo is in service to the other. Virgo loves to feel productive and of service in a useful way. Okay, so shadow side of Virgo energy is, especially when Mercury ends up going there, is like being super critical of ourselves, that we're not good enough, like the perfectionist. Virgo is the virgin of perfection, always trying to make things more efficient. So that might be something that's coming up for you already, or something that comes up for you in the next couple of weeks, is like where are you critical of yourself and perhaps others, that they're not doing a good enough job, or they're not living up to your expectations, or you aren't living up to your expectations. I have certainly already noticed these creeping in as planets are in Virgo, for myself. So that's the one thing I really wanted to focus on. It's an amazing time to align your actions and your doing and your productivity with your desires, with your passions, with your mind and what you want to learn. Really good time to like reconcile your accounting books or work on an Excel spreadsheet that you've been needing to work on, or crossing something off that that takes a little bit more brain power and more details. Like, this is the time to do it. Or perhaps purging your closet, or things along cleaning something in your house, organizing something in your house. Mercury and Virgo expert. Okay, the other thing I wanted to talk about, this isn't really, I mean, it's planetary based, I guess, but not astrologically based. Sort of is, whatever. There's a crossover. Anyways, we've been having, like, so the Schumann resonance, you can go to that website and actually see it. It's the Earth's electromagnetic measurement. Okay, so some people like to call this like heartbeat of Mother Earth. It's when the magnetic energy of the Earth spikes. And it's been spiking a lot lately. There's been some solar storms, which is like where plasma is like comes off of the sun and then eventually hits Earth, and then it's gonna affect us because we're magnetic, energetic beings, right? So the sun's energy spiking, and then the Earth's magnetic energy spiking. If we're all energetic beings that are full of vibration, like we have We all vibrate differently. We all have this like spectrum of vibration that we're vibrating at, because everything is energy, including us. So when the earth is spiking, our physical bodies are really going to feel it. So if you've had trouble sleeping, it definitely affects the circadian rhythms. It affects like the melatonin in our brain. If you've had trouble, if you've had like so much processing of emotions, what happens when this spikes is that some of the shadows come to the surface. So it kind of like shakes our trauma out of us, if that makes sense. So anyways, I'm just saying this to validate anyone out there that the last week especially have had trouble sleeping or have had a lot of emotional intensity come up. It's an intense energy when the Earth's magnetic energy is spiking and when the sun is giving off extra energy at the same time, especially this past weekend. Call it Lionsgate, call it whatever you want to call it. The entire universe, especially last weekend, was going through this really tense period of time where your physical bodies are really going to feel it, okay? So also like pain, if you have some sort of, like if you get migraines sometimes, it might have been the weekend where you got a really bad one, or where you're achy, or just like, these are called ascension symptoms because the energies, literally the physical energies around us are kind of smushing us together, and so our physical vibrational bodies are going to feel it, okay? So that's what's happening. Just a lot of spikes in the magnetosphere. If you do want to follow the sun's what's going on with the sun and what's going on with the Earth's magnetism and the Schumann resonance, I would highly recommend following A Girl in the Universe. She posts daily about both of those things, and it's really insightful. So on top of that, the last thing that I wanted to speak about is Uranus and Taurus and Saturn and Aquarius, the square that we're in right now. So for everyone, we're trying to break free from old structures that don't work for us. So it's almost like if you imagine like your inner rebel being like, fuck you. And like, then the high school principal being like, you're not allowed to do that. These are the rules of the school. So you can either go here to detention or get the heck out. But then you lose something. Okay, that was maybe a weird example, but it's like where your inner rebel is coming out and wants to create change. So societally, we all really want to break out of these structures. Yet there's this pull, or this like, maybe it feels like pessimism, maybe it feels like a block, maybe it feels like restriction, maybe it feels like too much doses of reality. How are we ever going to do this when like this is the reality of the situation, okay? So that's like the Uranus-Saturn square. The times that we're in right now, we're in this tense moment. And regardless of how it plays out, we are moving, the whole universe, our solar system specifically, is moving into a place where there's more light. Which means that the more we travel through this place where there's more light, it means that the darkness has to come to the surface. On top of that, like that's actually what's happening. On top of that, we're all in a time period where we're starting a brand new age of time. So if we have these 2,000-year cycles that we're starting, and I spoke a lot about this in 2020, but this is the massive big picture. So your soul chose this period of time on Earth to help watch the entire universe ascend into more light, and ascend into a different period of time where we're going to look back eventually and be like, wow, how did we ever live like that? Had we ever live in such dense, heavy, structures and systems? How did that ever work? And we survived it and we're okay. But right now we're creating a whole new structure and system. So they are crumbling. Whether you see it or not, the structures around you are crumbling. They are not going to be the same. Over the next couple of years, this is really what we're doing. We're crumbling structures within ourselves, like within our hearts, and our psyches and our traumas, and out externally as well through, like education and politics, and everything is crumbling. So please be gentle with yourself. These are really intense times, and let me know if you want any other content. I'm here for you. Sending all the love.